Tim Harford, Adapt, Why Success Always Starts with Failure. Welcome to the engaging summary of Adapt, Why Success Always Starts with Failure by Tim Harford. This book delves into the world of business and how the survival of companies in today's market is not about strategic victories, but rather about learning to adapt to the inevitable failures. By exploring topics such as top-down organizational structures, the role of experimentation, and the impact of complexity on our environment, Harford sheds light on how we can nurture adaptability, resilience, and innovation. Through real-world examples and intriguing anecdotes, this riveting summary will equip you with valuable insights and practical takeaways on embracing defeat and transforming it into success.
The unpredictable nature of company survival. Although companies and biological organisms might appear vastly different, their survival rates are strikingly similar. Economist Paul Ormerod found that the extinction rate of species over 500 million years aligns with the extinction rate of companies. Ormerod's mathematical model of corporate evolution revealed that the survival of companies is not attributed to strategic planning success or failure. Similarly, a study tracking the world's largest companies since 1912 found that most eventually vanished, reminding us that company success is not guaranteed. Given that predictions regarding a company's future are often unreliable, it's vital for companies to build resilience against potential failures. No matter how competent companies and their leaders seem to be, the majority struggle to survive in the long term. What's fascinating is that the survival and extinction rates of companies are parallel to those of biological organisms over a significantly longer timescale. Economist Paul Ormerod analyzed the fossil record and created a mathematical model of corporate evolution, factoring various company strategies and levels of planning. The results revealed that there was no correlation between strategic planning and the actual extinction rate of companies. Survival, then, is not tied to planning success or failure. In another study, economic historian Leslie Hanna observed the world's largest companies since 1912. Though some like Shell and General Electric prospered over time, most of them eventually disappeared, including market leaders like U.S. Steel. These vanished companies were the equivalents of today's Googles and Walmarts. Predictions about a company's future should be approached with caution, even when made by esteemed experts. For 20 years, psychologist Philip Tetlock collected forecasts from 300 accomplished professionals on various events, many of which never occurred. Keeping the unpredictability of corporate success in mind, it's critical for businesses to develop resiliency to face inevitable failures. The following sections will provide guidance on how to achieve that resilience. Overcoming top-down flaws. Traditional top-down organizational structures, despite seeming reliable, often make numerous errors due to the silencing of dissenting expert opinions. This issue is evident in military operations like the Second Gulf War in Iraq, where vital knowledge from those on the ground had no influence on government policy. Hierarchy-focused leaders like Donald Rumsfeld, who disregarded input from experienced generals, inadvertently contributed to chaos and unsuccessful strategies. However, individuals such as American Colonel H.R. McMaster proved that engaging with local knowledge and fostering cooperation can be key to achieving important goals. In many organizations, the top-down approach to decision-making has a detrimental impact on progress, resulting in a high frequency of mistakes. In this structure, dissenting opinions from experts are often disregarded, which stifles opportunities for organizations to learn from their errors. This issue is notably prevalent in military operations like the Second Gulf War in Iraq. During that conflict, valuable insights from military personnel on the ground failed to shape government policy. When U.S. Army generals requested more troops or suggested winning support rather than eliminating Saddam Hussein's regime, Donald Rumsfeld and his advisors chose to ignore their feedback, leading to chaotic outcomes. The generals on the ground, with access to local knowledge, were better suited to make informed decisions than a centralized, distant authority. However, it wasn't until the U.S. found itself struggling to control an unmanageable insurgent uprising that the politicians changed tactics, focusing on training the Iraqi army before exiting the conflict. Even then, they overlooked the complex dynamics among various Iraqi stakeholders, which hindered efforts to curb ethnically charged violence. Some individuals on the ground, though, succeeded in achieving results in unconventional ways. American Colonel H.R. McMaster, stationed in the perilous city of Tal Afar, taught his troops to engage with the local population. This approach cultivated cooperation between civilians and soldiers, ultimately aligning them towards a mutual objective, driving insurgents out of the city. This example demonstrates the benefit of considering local knowledge rather than relying solely on top-down strategies. Embracing complexity through adaptation. Our world is full of complex systems, from global supply chains to seemingly small dilemmas. Dealing with complexity requires an adaptive mindset, embracing failure and learning from mistakes. It's essential to understand the evolutionary principles of variation, survivability, and selection to overcome challenges and achieve success in today's interconnected, intricate world. The world we live in is incredibly complex, and even seemingly straightforward tasks can turn out to be intricate challenges. For instance, a student attempting to build a toaster from scratch discovered the complicated and interwoven steps involved in sourcing materials, ultimately ending up with a barely functional and hazardous device. As this story demonstrates, navigating our world's complexity often involves a series of failures, with adaptation being key to eventual success. A historical example of the importance of adaptability can be found in the story of Peter Pelchinsky, a Soviet engineer in the 1920s. Hired to consult on massive projects like the Lenin Dam, Pelchinsky recognized several shortcomings in their approach due to a lack of potential for adaptation. Ignoring his advice, the leadership pushed forward, leading to the dam's failure both economically and as an engineering achievement. This incident showcases the pitfalls of disregarding adaptation when dealing with complex situations. Our world's intricacy often tricks us into believing we have more control or knowledge than we actually possess. To avoid this common mistake, we must learn to manage complex problems by embracing a trial-and-error, adaptive approach. This method acknowledges our limited understanding and reminds us of the necessity to learn from our experiences, even when they result in failures. In upcoming sections, we will explore the significance of evolutionary principles, variation, survivability, and selection, and how they underpin success in our modern world. By approaching the complexities of life with these principles in mind, we can better adapt to and thrive in this ever-changing and interconnected landscape. Unleashing innovation through prizes. In the quest for groundbreaking solutions, experimentation and iterative designs have proven invaluable throughout history. A prime example of this is the Spitfire aircraft, which transformed military aviation forever. Encouraging more innovation can be achieved through two main approaches: patents and goal-oriented prizes. While patents grant inventors exclusive rights to their ideas for personal profit, goal-oriented prizes are even more compelling, driving competition and garnering the support of philanthropists eager to explore potentially profitable new markets. The startling success of the Ansari X Prizes private spaceflight contest illustrates the power of research prizes, which often lead to faster achievements in comparison to the patent approach. In the 1920s, the transformative potential of fighter planes lay unrecognized, but by the 1930s, the British Air Ministry requested designs for a new fighter aircraft. The birth of the remarkable Spitfire aircraft was driven by experimentation, defying initial skepticism like Winston Churchill's, and ultimately revolutionizing military aviation. To stimulate further groundbreaking innovation, two primary strategies have been employed. Firstly, patenting lends inventors a monopoly over their ideas, allowing them to personally profit and incentivizing their creative efforts. However, an even more potent approach lies in setting goal-specific research prizes. This competitive dynamic stimulates inventors to outperform one another by not only offering prize money, but potentially attracting philanthropists seeking investment opportunities in novel markets. The 2004 Ansari X Prize showcases the fruits of this approach, a $10 million accolade for the first privately funded spaceship. A staggering 12 teams battled it out, with the White Knight, backed by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, taking the grand prize. This peculiar but pioneering creation demonstrated the efficacy and swiftness of goal-specific research prizes in sparking significant innovations, far surpassing the traditional patenting method in delivering rapid, cutting-edge advancements. Balancing risk and innovation. Envision a slice of Swiss cheese, symbolizing one layer of safety in a system, with its holes as points of vulnerability. To eliminate accidents, one may assume that stacking multiple layers of cheese would effectively obstruct any path, but this is not always the case. Safety measures can introduce new failure points in complex systems, as exemplified by credit default swaps, CDS, in finance. Originally devised to help banks offload risk, CDS led to numerous interconnected institutions becoming entangled in intricate deals, resulting in tight coupling and the potential for rapid, domino-like collapse. For example, Lehman Brothers' disintegration contributed to the 2007-2008 financial crisis. To enhance survivability in the face of failures, simplification, looser interactions, and contingency plans are needed. Consider the financial system. Implementing robust contingency plans for bankruptcy and requiring banks with complex operations to maintain a large capital cushion would make it safer. Another approach could involve breaking large banks into two separate entities, one for utility functions like ATMs and savings accounts, and another for speculative banking, including trading derivatives. However, this strategy may not account for the intricacies of finance, as some aspects of the speculative side, such as venture capital, drive innovation by funding startups. In a complex world, eliminating errors entirely is unattainable, hence, striking a balance between risk and innovation is crucial to maintaining progress while avoiding catastrophic consequences. Unraveling complex problems. When searching for solutions to complex problems, it is vital to differentiate between actual causes and seemingly obvious ones. Randomized trials can help in identifying the true causes of a problem by placing subjects into randomized groups and testing different treatments. For instance, a study in Kenya revealed that treating intestinal worms in students led to improved test scores, contrary to the hypothesis that textbooks alone would suffice. However, certain problems, known as fundamentally unidentified questions, FUQs, seem impossible to solve with randomized testing. They involve a complex mix of causes, making it difficult to pinpoint a single one to test. Nevertheless, researchers can employ identification strategies to uncover the underlying causes of FUQs, such as corruption and bribery. One example is a study on learner drivers in India that uncovered bribery in passing driving tests. By conducting experiments like these, we can make strides in understanding and addressing seemingly unsolvable problems. Unmasking hidden causes. To uncover the true source of a problem, we must differentiate between its apparent and actual causes. Randomized trials, commonly used in foreign aid development, can help identify these underlying factors. For example, in Kenya, a randomized trial involving textbooks revealed that treating intestinal worms had a greater impact on students' academic performance than providing textbooks. However, not all challenges can be addressed through randomized testing. These complex issues, known as fundamentally unidentified questions, FUQs, demand alternative strategies. Experiments designed to expose unexpected causal links, such as those related to bribery and corruption, can help identify causes behind FUQs. By implementing creative identification strategies, we can better understand the driving factors behind even the most complex problems. Unlocking innovation with autonomy. The secret behind some of the world's most successful companies, such as Google and Whole Foods, lies in their willingness to create safe havens for experimenting and fostering an autonomous work culture. With employees granted freedom to develop ideas, successes emerge as a flow of trust and sharing of ideas builds. Encouraging this decentralization of authority leads to unexpected innovations, further driving success and growth for these companies. In the world of innovation, there is a powerful and proven concept linked to unexpected success stories, creating safe havens within organizations where unconventional ideas are allowed to flourish. Take a look at companies like Google, Whole Foods Market, and defense firm Lockheed, which developed groundbreaking technologies like Gmail, successful business models, and the world's fastest plane, all within their experimental divisions. How do these experimental safe havens function? By providing employees with a certain degree of autonomy, companies encourage not just innovation but also a culture of trust and free exchange of ideas. Google, for instance, allows its engineers to allocate 20% of their working time to pursue projects of their choice. While a majority of these projects may fail, an impressive 50% of Google's current products are a result of this allotted project time. Whole Foods Market and Timson are other shining examples of companies that grant their employees considerable autonomy. At Whole Foods, a 4-week trial period for potential employees ends with the staff voting on whether to hire them or not. Similarly, Timson provides its employees £500 to be used in exceptional situations, trusting their judgment. But what's unique about these work cultures is that they also emphasize peer monitoring, where employees are accountable for each other's performance. Mistakes and oversights are quickly identified and rectified, allowing companies to adapt and grow faster. By embracing autonomy and fostering an experimental culture within their organizations, companies like Google, Whole Foods, and Lockheed have managed to unlock the true potential of their employees, unleashing a wealth of creativity and innovation that drives their success. Overcoming failure with support. In 2002, the ballet and musical movement faced critical disapproval. However, its creator, Twyla Tharp, managed to turn things around by acknowledging valid criticisms and making necessary changes with the help of her Validation Squad, a support system comprised of friends and family. Our brains can hinder our growth by leading us to denial, encouraging resource wasting, and idealizing our past failures. By identifying these mental traps, and leaning on our close allies for encouragement and feedback, we can bounce back from setbacks and achieve success, just as Tharp did when Movin' Out became an award-winning hit. When the ballet and musical Movin' Out initially faced harsh criticism in 2002, its choreographer, Twyla Tharp, was devastated. Our minds can easily trap us in unproductive behavior patterns, making it difficult to bounce back from failure. These traps include denial, recklessly investing resources, and rose-tinted views of past failures. To overcome these obstacles, we need a support system, or a validation squad, of close friends and family. It is these people who help us separate our self-worth from the mistakes we make, while also offering constructive criticism. With the help of her validation squad, Tharp addressed the crucial issues pointed out in the critiques and drove her troupe to rehearse with relentless dedication. Through hard work, Tharp managed to transform Movin' Out into an award-winning success. The lesson here is that with the support of our close allies, we can face our failures, learn from them, and ultimately achieve our goals.
In conclusion, Adapt, Why Success Always Starts with Failure, emphasizes the importance of embracing failures and learning from them in the world of business and beyond. Harford's book urges readers to question traditional top-down organizational structures and focus on fostering adaptability, resilience, and innovation. By looking at the success and failures of companies, experiments, and systems, it becomes clear that the ability to adapt is crucial for longer-term survival. Whether it be through decentralized authority, fostering safe havens for experimentation, or learning to differentiate true causes from superficial ones, this enlightening book summary provides you with the tools necessary to create an environment in which success thrives through adaptation.